This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.
Estás atrapado en el tráfico, pero luego hay una recompensa para ti. Una modelo, la marca de los luchadores. Mantienes la calma a pesar de las bocinas, las largas filas y los gritos. ¡Muévete! Así que al llegar a casa, sírvete esta dorada y refrescante lager, porque tú sabes que tu paciencia vale oro. Tú eres un luchador y esta es tu recompensa. Modelo, la marca de los luchadores. Todo con medida, importada por Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Because my ego, my pride was wounded slightly.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Anthony Rapp and Alan Tudyk, look the same. Do they not? Is it me?
I don't know who Alan
Tudyk is hot.
No, I know
Alan Tudyk is hot,
Tudyk.
right? Okay, and then Anthony Rapp.
I know what Alan Tudyk looks like.
Is what's Anthony Rapp in?
Anthony Rapp was in Rent. Right?
Oh, okay.
So, like, Anthony Rapp.
Okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Okay.
Oh, yeah, they look the same.
They look the same. And Anthony shamed me because he was just like, I don't think they look the same. And I'm like,
look the same.
Anthony Rapp
is similar.
Similarities, but
Alan
definitely
Tudyk
Anthony Rapp has... Was he also in the movie from where they, like, the seniors go after, like, the freshman, you know what I'm talking about? He's like, I just want to dance. Fuck. Was he the nerdy guy in Dazed and Confused? He was.
I don't know. Was he?
I think he was.
Yeah, because I saw something with Alan Tudyk in it, and I'm like, I think that's Alan Tudyk. But then, like, okay, look at Alan Tudyk with glasses.
I mean, I see what you're saying.
And I'm just like,
yeah.
I was just like, I know that's Alan Tudyk, but part of me is like, is that Anthony Rapp? Every time I see one of them, I think the same thing. Where I'm
maybe
like,
they are the same person.
Maybe
He's like,
have you ever seen them together?
Have we ever? Just saying.
Prove me
just
wrong.
saying. Prove me wrong. But yeah, Anthony shamed me so hard because he's like, they don't look anything alike, and I was like, how dare you?
Dazed and Confused. He was the nerdy kid in Dazed and Confused.
Oh yeah.
Dude, okay.
He was like a skinny kid back then. Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't get as much shame as I did about the freaking water polo.
Oh
my God.
It's your No Nut November, girl. It was so funny.
Oh my God.
The people on our fucking Facebook page this week, that was perfection.
So it was just the imagery of like horses prancing around in like ankle deep water or like whatever your vision for water polo was. But I have to say, I looked up a bunch of pictures of water polo and I'm like,
it looks like splashing.
So
and I was
much
like,
splashing.
It does.
I'm like, this is an Olympic sport.
Yeah. I mean, but have you seen curling?
I mean,
it's just sweepy nice.
Yeah.
Literally, with a broom. Sweepy nice.
Quickly.
Yep.
Frantically.
Meanwhile, nobody will let cheerleading in at the Olympics. And I'm like, I think that's more of
right,
more athletic.
Dude, curling gives me anxiety, actually.
I'm like, I could do Olympic sports.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like,
yes, I know exactly what you mean. It's like a lot of like sharp staccato movements.
Yeah,
and like your heartbeat goes up a little bit. And you're like, oh no.
It's just ice shuffleboard, right? Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Ice shuffleboard.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh.
God, I mean, Canada. Am I right? It was from Canada, right?
Yeah. Well, I think
it?
originally probably. I don't know.
Yeah, all the ice sports I feel like come from Canada.
I mean, no shade. It seems pretty hard. I mean, I can't even like stand on ice. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be in the Olympics for curling. I don't think.
I feel like
I'm not really good at shuffleboard either, though.
Yeah, I mean,
like the table
I
shuffleboard.
feel like I could be trained. I'm not saying like current state me right now Olympic team. I'm just saying I feel like I could be trained.
All of the
to do
professional
this.
curlers are listening to you, and they're like, "How dare she?"
Get
like,
the fuck out of here.
You're like, I'm pretty sure I could just walk in cold and
no,
just crush all of you.
I'm definitely not saying that. I am hard not saying that.
Do you ever watch sports though sometimes and you're like me sitting on my couch like eating like a bag of kettle chips, like watching figure skating, and I'm like, I bet I could figure it out. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Like, I'm like, I'm
No.
watching it and I'm like, you know what? I bet I could watch one YouTube tutorial. And then you go ice skating and you're like, oh,
It's
actually
so hard.
like I can skate, but I can't skate backwards. I can't like do anything more complex than like
Going forward.
move.
Moving forward.
Exactly.
The
That's how I
end.
feel about like dancing, where I'm like,
do
before,
that.
yeah, I'm just like in my head.
Uh-huh.
In my head, I'm an awesome dancer.
You're like, how hard can it be?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, I mean, you know, I taught myself how to do
oh yeah,
yeah. In
The
my
floss,
sleep.
yes.
I taught myself to floss in my sleep. But I think as long as you think on for me, dancing is as long as I can like math it out in my brain somehow, I feel like I can figure it out.
I feel like I'm the opposite when it comes to dancing, where like I can't think too hard about it because I will fuck myself up. It's like when we were doing hip hop dance class, it was like, if I just don't think about it and like let my body do the thing, then I'll be fine. The moment I'm like, is this right? Fucked. Completely fucked.
Done.
Like, done, you know, and then you're 3 steps behind.
Yeah.
That's
God damn it,
always
my
what
arm was
happens.
supposed to be up. No, it's left arm.
Oh, no.
I had to do the L's.
Yeah, exactly. The whole time you're like right hand, left hand.
Well, what else is going on this week?
So I do want to announce to the listeners that we are doing a new thing that we've never done before on the show, where we are going to be bringing you guys some bonus episodes.
This is actually post that, I think,
oh,
because this is coming out on the 28th.
So if you were surprised and you saw our episode on Monday, we are doing a new thing.
yeah, we're doing a new thing. So hopefully you guys saw that bonus episode. If you haven't listened to it yet, go and listen to it. We are trying a new thing here at My Worst Date because not that we don't love the sound of our own voices and each other's voices.
Yep.
But, you know, we kind of wanted to bring you guys something kind of new and different. And we want to share our podcast with other people. So we are going to be doing a series on our show, releasing bonus episodes featuring other podcasters, comedians, performers, talking about like love, dating, shame receipts. And man, it can get wild. Clearly,
They brought it.
Yeah.
They brought
yes.
it.
So our last bonus episode that we just released was with Private Parts Unknown,
Right.
which is a very sex positive podcast with Courtney and Sophia. So definitely go check that out. Give that a listen and let us know what you think. And if you have any podcasts that you want us to reach out to, we would love to collaborate with as many people as possible.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it
God,
was
those
super
guys
fun.
were a blast.
So fun.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So much fun.
Yeah, we bonus points if they're remote, just so I can learn how to do yet another weird audio.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want a
Love that.
Challenge.
That's amazing.
Yes. All right. Yeah. What else? We got, oh man, I keep forgetting to like write stuff down that comes up to me where I'm like,
I
oh
got
my
a
God,
thing.
this is crazy.
On our Facebook group, our good friend Kelly from Boobies and Newbies, she
her.
posted an article, and the headline of the article is "Male sex robots with unstoppable bionic penises are coming this year."
I saw that Uncanny Valley bullshit and I was like, there's no way, dude.
There's
No,
something
it's
very
creepy.
weird
It's
about the
creepy.
faces.
Did you open the article?
No,
Just look at it. Look at it. Its hand, oh my God, is so creepy. I don't understand.
I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan either. And also, I know to some people like unstoppable bionic penises sounds like a plus, but for me, it sounds very scary. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, is that going to tear up my insides?
Also, most of the time when I am okay, so like of course we use like vibrators or whatever, which is like, okay, this is a vibrator attached to like a heavy like doll thing that has to be like positioned. I'm like, most of the time when I'm masturbating, it's just because I'm like, I gotta get it done. You know what I mean? Like I'm not about
Yeah.
to freaking.
How do you charge your sex doll? Is there like a
Who
USB
has room
port?
to store one? I'm in a 1-bedroom
Oh
apartment
my
in
God.
West Hollywood.
Imagine you have your dog walker like come over to the house. They open the wrong closet and there's just like
just
a
the
full rubber dude in there.
No.
Like I'm kind of with you. I'm just like,
911.
Yeah, you're like-
immediately.
feels like murder. Feels like murder to me.
That's like murder.
And would you have a heart attack if you went over to someone's house and you opened a door and you saw what you
Listen.
think is a person.
Straight up.
Listen, if I came over to your house, Christina, and I walked in and whatever, we're having dinner at your house and you have your sex doll sitting on the couch.
We're gonna have a
became
talk.
an intervention.
Yes,
actually,
It's so extra. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yum, but that seems excessive.
To me,
again, and like, what if it's like, where do you put it? Do you put it in your closet?
how do you
creepy
charge
is
it?
that fucking
How
shit?
do you clean it? There are
Oy.
so many things to
Much
think
easier
about.
to clean than the female sex doll.
True.
That's
I
true.
mean,
It's all external. You
Yeah.
know, you can take like wet wipes and just.
It's true, but also like,
Fanny that.
have you ever had like? Okay, I'm going to show you guys. For instance, the edges of this thing are like rubber. It's
Oh,
like that
okay.
rubber.
Right.
Look, it started out this color.
Oh, yeah.
So
It shapes.
So the edges of my phone case is like rubber and it is now brown and it started out white. And so I'm just like, have you ever had that like soft rubber, you know, like shoes or anything else? Like it's like scuff marks. How do you keep your male sex doll pristine and not like smudgy and like dirty? And also just from a practical standpoint, again, everybody knows I'm a lazy ass bitch.
Yeah.
The idea of having to take a sex doll out,
That's what I'm saying.
position it,
It's
turn
too
it
much.
on. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to have to position myself on top of something. Like, and you already have to do your own foreplay in order to be.
No, apparently it's
don't
got
even wanna-
it's got software. It like it talks and
No, 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 no,
interacts
no, no,
with
no,
you.
no, 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 no.
And I'm like,
no.
Listen, I don't even want a vibrator that I have to plug into the wall, let
No.
alone a fucking doll that I gotta set shit up.
I mean, think about how put out you are if you are like getting ready, you got your glass of wine, you're like situated, pillows behind you,
Right.
ready to go,
Yeah.
and your
you get
batteries,
fancy.
your batteries give out on your vibrator.
Nah.
Like you have to get up. You have to go to another room. You got to open a drawer. You got to take batteries out. You got to change
it's
them.
so much work.
Like that is about the max.
I can't.
Level.
I can't with that. It's too much. Yeah.
It's a lot.
I'm
It's
a
lot.
lazy masturbator.
yeah, I don't love it.
Yeah.
I don't love
You
it.
don't prop up on pillows, Cassie?
No.
No.
I mean, I
you?
do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do. I want a comfortable like arch support.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, I, will sometimes be like watching stuff on the phone. It's
Yeah,
just
of
easier that
course.
way.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm usually just laying down
Flat?
No, not entirely flat, but I mean, I don't like set up pillows. I'm like thinking like I don't set like
Oh,
a
no.
special scene.
I would have to do a whole setup. It's like
Yeah.
there's because. And it's kind of like anything, like it's like taking a bath or whatever. You like you bring all your things, right? You're like your book, your glass
ducky.
of wine. Yeah, yes, exactly. Your ducky, your bubbles, right? You like got everything
Yeah.
within arm's reach. Anything you're gonna need.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing. I'm like, I've got my glass of wine on my nightstand.
Yeah.
You know, like
I don't even romance myself. That's how much I don't like romance. I'm all like, I just
You're just
rub
like, you ready
one
to
out
get this
whenever. I'm like,
Get it done, get her
Oh,
done.
in the bathroom? No.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Joking.
I got one that's waterproof. It's nice sometimes if I'm like in the shower.
Shower.
Yeah.
That's
Mine's
what's up.
waterproof, but I'm still afraid to take it in there. Like I'm like
You're
for some
afraid you're
reason
gonna,
still
like,
worried.
electrocute
Yes,
yourself? You're like,
yeah, I'm like still worried about it. Like
It's not even that I'm afraid of electrocuting myself. I'm afraid of breaking
it. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Like water getting in where the batteries are, and then you're like, well, now this doesn't work anymore. And vibrators. Okay, that's another thing. Vibrators are a financial commitment.
Yeah.
And so like, how much is a fucking sex doll? How much is it?
I know. I went and got something from the Hustler store. I got like a wand or whatever. It
Yeah.
was like
Like
$100 some bucks.
one of those like
Yeah.
yes, Mhm. like
I
the
don't
back
like it.
massagers.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Oh, that
I don't know.
pisses
There's
me
something
off.
about it. I'm just like,
It looks like a sander.
yeah, it just doesn't. It's not
just not
great.
getting it.
I don't love it, and I'm like $150 fucking dollars.
You know, we just had a conversation on our bonus episode about re-gifting sex toys.
Oh, yeah. Don't do that.
It's like
No.
that. It's such a weird because it's sad because it's like there's somebody out there who probably really really enjoys that.
Yeah, but there's
and
no way like you
give
can't
it to
test
anyone
it ahead
Yeah.
of time. You know what I mean? You're just like, I hope this works.
Yeah.
Like, I hope I like this.
and then you're out $150.
150 bones.
Yes, because you can't give it away to anyone. Like
No.
if I buy something online, you know, like a sweater,
Yeah.
and then it comes and I don't like it,
Yeah, send it back.
I can send it back, or I can be like, Cassie, do you want the sweater?
There you go.
Do you know what I mean?
I would take your sweater. I will not take your vibrator.
Yeah, that's
No. Yeah.
wise.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, guys. Like, I do have a vibrator, one that I've had for like fucking ever that I hardly ever use because honestly, just like I don't romance myself, I can just a good old hand will do it.
Yeah. I'm there
Yeah,
too.
I can just rub one out. Good to go.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Just kind of
Little
depends on my
Pornhub,
mood. Yeah.
Little hand.
Mm-hmm.
Little hand.
I actually go get those little
you
tiny
get the
hands.
little tiny. You're like Kristen Wiig. Oh my god! What if
it in my pocket?
Do you think that is somebody's fetish? Like there is someone out there who's like, I only want to be like jacked off with the teeny tiny hands.
If you ever, I'm sure if you look up on Pornhub right now, tiny hand jerk off, I guarantee you find something. I guarantee you will see the baby hand.
I feel like I need to. I don't know if I.
You can actually. It's frightening.
I don't want to know.
It's frightening. You go down a Pornhub rabbit hole.
No, there's weird shit on there, dude. There's such weird shit, and I try to keep it surface level. To be honest, if it's not a category that's already listed, I'm not doing a deep, very, I'm not trying to do something real weird. I'm not trying to go down that path because I feel like things could really take a turn.
Take a real turn, and then all of a sudden you're not masturbating. You're like, do I need
to call the police?
Contact the authorities?
Yes. 911. I mean, the same thing happens on YouTube. Like the algorithm gets all fucked up, and then all of a sudden it's only suggesting the weirdest shit to you.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And then you have somebody over, and you're like,
I'm glad that
this isn't who I
doesn't
am.
suggest shit.
Oh my god, what if it did?
Just starts like following like stuff you've went down the rabbit hole.
It does. It does.
When? Oh, like when you pull up a video, it has ones like it.
Well,
below.
yeah, but when you go to just Pornhub, unless you search it on private, it's recommended videos.
Those are videos that
I thought there was like
other people
top
like
views
the top
or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what?
Current
God,
top views.
This conversation, please God, do not let anyone I'm related to. You know what? Actually, I was at a job interview and they asked me like what I do for hobbies, and I was like, podcasting, and then he asked me what my podcast was, and I told him, and he wrote it down on my resume.
Oh.
And I'm like, please, God. Oh, please, Lord. No. I'm like, could I just rewind 10 seconds? Like,
Yep.
Mistake. I should never tell anyone anything real about myself ever.
I did that when I was in DC for the show, and I was talking to this guy who was like somebody's manager, like the boss person. I was like, oh yeah, and I have a podcast, and he'd seen fucking thing, and I'm like, why did I fucking do that?
I've messed up many an opportunity for myself. I'm sure. I'm like, there are certain things people should have to dig a little deeper on you. They should do at least, because I mean, honestly, like one Google search or like one social media search, you'll find it.
Yeah.
But like they should have to do the bare minimum of the work to learn certain things about you. Don't offer that shit up for free. That's my advice from me to you.
Speaking of, this is my worst date. I'm Christina.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Cassie.
Yay!
This is the new normal for us. You doing the intro, me going last, which is so weird.
And it just round robins around the table.
Very strange.
Yeah.
So strange.
I don't know. One of these days we'll hit on it.
Oh, that's cute. We won't.
No.
We won't.
Promises.
What was it? I think our last episode doesn't have I don't think we introduced ourselves.
I know. I had to stitch it in.
Yeah, we did it at the end.
Yeah.
That's right. We were like, we got the whole thing. So a little behind the curtain for you guys. Like we got through the entire recording, and then Christina was like, I don't think we introduced ourselves.
And we did not.
At all. And so we did it really quick, and she just popped it in. So
come
on.
You know
She's
us.
magic like
you
that.
know us. You know who we be.
Oh, man.
Oh, did you? Okay. Very important news.
Okay.
For everyone who's not in our Facebook group. Christina got a phone case.
Oh
my God.
Hallelujah.
It's honestly, my anxiety has been relieved to such a degree.
I feel very protected.
You should.
I mean,
super cute.
It is. It is super cute. It's from our merch store, actually. It's the Who Raised You phone case. It's way cute. It's a really good case, too, actually.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah. So, rest easy. I'm still getting used to, I was raw dogging it for so long that being protected now feels weird.
Feels weird,
It
right?
just feels weird.
Doesn't feel the same.
I don't like it.
Actually,
I don't like it as much. It just doesn't feel as good.
Oh my
but
God.
I'll get used to it if you must use it.
All the fucking terrible reasons throughout our lives as women that guys try to give to not wear a condom. I just like, you can fill a book with them.
Oh yeah.
My favorite is still that woman who her boyfriend was like, or her whoever was like, they just don't make them big enough for me. And she like stretched it over her
That's the
head
best.
and up her arm and like up her leg.
Yeah,
She's
you're
like, it can fit from my toe to my calf. So I don't
ain't like that.
understand.
You ain't like that.
Like it goes all the way up to my knee. How big is your dick? Like, please.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Well, we got Patreon suggestions for Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Yeah.
I think we have new Patreon members
Yes,
too.
we do.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Because Liz Fritch upped her pledge.
And we
Moving
love
on.
her.
Love her. She's the one. She suggested Disney villains,
I
which
love
I
that.
definitely think we should do.
I can't believe we haven't done that
I
already.
know.
No.
We've
TB.
done Princess.
I think we've done who our favorites were at some point, but we definitely didn't do an FMK.
Yeah.
And we also have another new patron, Jessica Wood. Welcome.
Yeah.
We're so excited.
Hey.
Excited to have you. Shout out to you.
Yes.
Is that it?
Oh,
Okay, cool. We were like, wait for it.
And okay.
So funny story about Disney villains. So Chris and I got Disney Plus, and we put Keegan and Christina on our Disney Plus, and I made just little profiles of like Disney villains as us.
Feel like you hit the nail on the fucking
Oh my God,
head.
it's freaking perfect.
I fucking nailed it, didn't I?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's perfect.
So I made myself Cruella Deville. It's so right
Great.
on.
Yes.
It's so right on.
In fact, you would make a great Cruella for Halloween.
I can't say
You should do
that
it.
I'm not
That'd be
interested.
fantastic.
I mean, did we just plan our Halloween costume?
Did we? Because you were Evil Queen.
Yeah.
And
Was
it was
I
kind of perfect.
was I Maleficent?
Yeah, the Evil Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then I made
Wait,
you...
wait. The evil queen is the one from Snow White.
Are you talking
So
about
which
the one
one is
from?
it?
Well,
was
she
it-
turns into Maleficent. That's Sleeping Beauty.
Maleficent is Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
Snow White is the one that has the like her whole head
Headpiece.
is covered.
Oh, okay, that's the one.
Yes,
Oh,
so you're
okay,
the evil queen with the
Yes.
poison apple. Yes,
Yes.
the evil queen.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
And that makes
That is
perfect sense.
Real.
It was good.
Real
Yes.
talk.
It was good.
And I love that I'm Esma from
It was-
Emperor's New Groove is like hilarious.
it's
Oh my God.
So funny.
I want to be Yzma for Halloween. I think that is hilarious. No bra, just like low, pointy
Yes.
boobs.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
I
in,
like it.
Silk.
Yeah, a slinky silk dress.
Slip.
Yes.
Do we fuck, marry, kill them then? You already picked it.
I did
So
kind of
this-
nail you guys.
Yeah, that's kinda
I
funny,
mean,
yeah.
nailed us. If we were personally
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
I'm crafty enough. I will hold a grudge and find a way to like poison an apple and take you out.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Because you can't be prettier than me, first of all.
I'm vain. Vain AF. Yeah. Sounds
totally
right.
not you at all. At all.
Oh my God.
I just like that Yzma turns into a cat like halfway through the movie. I'm
Yep.
like, that's perfect.
Yes.
And it's just like her voice is kind of annoying. It's like Eartha Kitt, but fantastic.
Oh.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's fucking perfection.
She's got the best dumb sidekick. We got Kronk in the building. I love it.
We just rewatched that movie.
That movie holds up.
so cute.
It holds up.
It was
so
my
good.
favorite. I was the most annoying person because I would quote it. Like I was that like nerdy girl in high school who was just like, I'm going to speak in nothing but Emperor's New Groove quotes for the whole day.
Amazing.
Enjoy it. Fantastic. Okay. And Cruella.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
wonderful.
Vain AF. As
Also
well.
low pointy boobs.
Low
in
pointy
like a-
boobs. So that would have been pre-job on me. But
Christina's the only one who's got like up and
High and
perky
tight.
tits. Yeah.
High and tight.
Like
keep it tweet. Keep it tweet.
okay, great. Let me think. I think I am going to fuck the evil queen. Because I think that it's just the right amount of crazy that I'm like,
yeah.
this is going to be wild. And if you can make it out alive,
Yeah.
you're going to
That's
have a
the
great
question.
night. Yeah, if you can
That's
make
the
it out
question.
alive, you're going to have a good night.
Yeah.
I think
She will only look at herself in the mirror, though.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah. Uh-huh.
The mirror's
There's a
on the
mirror on the
ceiling.
ceiling. Yes, exactly.
She's on the bottom, only looking at herself.
Exactly. Fine. You know what? Keep her distracted because I don't want her focusing too much on me.
True.
Because
Exactly. True.
She gets too into it, then she might have me killed. She might hire a hitman.
Yeah.
I am going to marry Yzma just because I think it would be fun.
Yeah, she's definitely the least villainous of the villains.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
she's like quirky.
She's kind of quirky. Yeah, it's like she is villainous in that,
Yeah.
like her
She does try to kill him.
her heart is in a very villainous place, but she has a soft spot for that idiot Kronk, and he keeps making
That's
mistakes.
what I like about her versus Cruella Deville, who's like
Horrible.
she's kind of like puppy hater.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
who
horrible.
hates a puppy? They're so cute.
Well, you wouldn't wear it.
But, you know-
she loves them so much she wants to wear them.
They are soft. But I the thing about Cruella Deville is I will say she is glamorous.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Me
Like
too.
I love how like glamorous she is. But I just think that the evil queen might be a little bit more like, we're going to do some wild shit in bed. And then Esma would be fun to be married to. I don't know how long that, I think that that marriage is going to burn hot and fast.
Yeah.
Because Isma's going to do something that's going to get her or the both of us killed.
Yes.
Yeah. Reckless.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun while it lasts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm going to do that.
Isma is a wild card, is what? You know what I mean? Like, she's definitely like, I kind of
power
feel-
hungry.
She is power hungry, but I think that she's going to try the hardest because here's the thing. I think she'll try hardest because I think that she doesn't want any bad press. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, she's going to try the hardest.
Yeah.
So I think I'm actually going to fuck Isma because I feel like she's going to try harder.
And she wants to
Right.
keep it sexy.
Yeah, she
clearly.
does.
Like she's got like a knife garter.
Yeah,
Like
she-
partway through that movie, she's trying to keep it hot.
She tries to keep it super hot, and I like that. And I think that even though she tries to keep herself looking the part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
With
like
varying
Kronk might
degrees
join
of
us.
success.
Kronk
Ooh.
is super hot. I think Kronk might join us. I feel like that's how she might roll.
I was just wondering, if does the evil queen come with the huntsman?
Oh,
Yeah.
is it Angelina Jolie?
Hey.
Hey,
Well, that's
Hey.
Maleficent.
That's
That's a different queen.
Maleficent.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I think Charlize Theron played her in the
Snow White
movie
and the
with,
Huntsman. That's right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's right.
I was like,
That's right.
I'd get down. Get down.
Get
Get
down.
down.
Get down.
Get down, get down.
I love
she can
it.
also like convert herself, right? Because she turns into the ugly witch to
Yes.
give the apple.
Yep.
Yes.
So she's got like
She's got magic powers.
Yeah.
She,
Magic.
I'm gonna say it. I'm afraid of her.
Yeah.
You
And,
should be. You
frightening.
should be.
If
Yeah.
I have the ability, I will. I think I'm gonna kill.
Yeah.
People. Queen, she's so scary.
You better do it right the first time
I
because she will
know.
come for your ass. If
I know. I'm so nervous. She
Yeah.
Fuck it up.
scares me.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't want to marry.
No, you can't.
No, and I don't want to marry
Cruella.
Cruella either. So I think I'm going to fuck Cruella and I'm going to marry Isma. I think that's the right answer.
Yes.
Yeah, because again, Kronk. I mean,
She also has bumbling idiots as sidekicks. Cruella.
so true.
The characters in 101 Dalmatians, her sidekicks, are basically the same characters from Home Alone.
I was
It's
just gonna say
Joe
the burglars.
Pesci.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's exactly those characters, like
God, it
dummies.
totally is.
Ugh.
And you got Glenn Close in the live action.
There you go.
Fantastic.
perfection. Yeah.
Did you hear that Emma Stone is going to be playing her in an
Yeah,
origin?
I've seen the pictures.
How do you feel?
Wait.
interested.
Go back.
They're making an origin story for Cruella Deville.
Oh, for Cruella.
Movie.
I thought you meant for Glenn Close. I'm like, she's still alive. My
Oh my god.
I mean,
Rude. Jesus, at
wow.
least wait for the body to go cold. Wow.
they're coming in hot on her. They're like, her career's done. Let's make a biopic.
It's just called Glenn. Emma Stone is going to be playing Cruella Deville in the origin story movie
Okay.
that's coming out.
here for it.
Yeah,
I
am
think
too.
I'm kind of okay with
Sign
it.
me up.
Yeah.
I love it.
Sign me up.
Yeah, you can look for photos. I saw like first looks. Looked pretty. I haven't seen like a trailer or anything, but just photos of her dressed up as it, and I was like,
I'm
that could be down. Yeah,
I'm here
yeah,
for that.
I'm okay. I have to do. I think the same thing as Keegan. I'm gonna marry Esme. It's just, or it's
Isma.
Isma. It's quirky. It's quirky.
It's going to be fun.
It's gonna be
You're going to
fun.
get into some wacky hijinks
Also,
is what it is.
You hit the nail on the head with the soft spot for Kronk. Like, I don't feel that there's
Yeah.
a soft spot in Cruella or Evil Queen. So,
No.
like, you can't be married to somebody that literally, like, doesn't have a heart.
No,
And
they're
I feel
horrible.
like there's a heart.
There's a heart there under the layers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she turns into a cat.
And you
Funny.
Yeah, exactly. And Oof. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck the evil queen. Magic stuff makes me.
Yeah.
We know it does. We've had this
Intrigued.
conversation, but that's why you picked Vision when we were talking about the
Yeah.
Avengers. Same thing. And
Like-
also, I feel like in the evil queen's castle, she's got a castle.
Yeah.
And I feel like in her castle, there is a fun dungeon in there somewhere.
Oh, totally.
And there's a not fun dungeon in
There's
there,
a
too.
fun one and a not fun one, and both have chains.
yes.
The West Wing is not fun. East Wing is such. It's
That's the party wing.
Yeah.
the party wing. Really,
That's the
yeah.
eyes wide shut party wing.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my god.
man. Speaking of eyes wide shut, there is a scene in this trailer that is for lovebirds. That
Oh.
first of all, can we? Okay,
Amazing.
all right. Retraction statement from
Thank
Cassie.
you.
Did not. I wasn't here for it. I wasn't
For Kumail Nanjiani.
I was not here for Camille. Yeah, can't say his name. Camille Nanjiani. However,
So cute.
after seeing Lovebirds trailer,
Oh, man.
you know I love a funny guy,
With a beard.
and with a girl.
And I'm not actually, you know me,
Okay.
I'm not actually like big on beards, actually. But like,
He rocks it. He looks so
fine.
good with
so-
it.
Good.
And can we talk about him and Issa Rae? Can that be a real
if they
life couple?
Don't get married immediately. I quit
Whoa,
life.
hot! And that movie looks fucking funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
like
looks
that movie
so
looks
good.
so funny.
I cannot wait. It
Oh,
looks so good.
Gorgeous! I can't wait. Yeah, best looking couple.
Date night, ladies. Date night.
Yes.
Lovebirds.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, you guys want to take 5 and then come back with stories?
cool.
And we're back. Hi.
Hey. All right, so I'm going to go first because I have the crazy in love
Yes.
this week. So I don't want to read the subject line because I want to bury the lead.
Okay.
All right. We got this on your email and it says, "Hey ladies, love the podcast and the Facebook group. Thank you so much for building an amazing community and always brightening my day. Hopefully you enjoy this story."
Aw, I love
I
that.
can tell you, I've already read it and I do love this fucking story.
Hell
It's
yeah.
funny. I can't wait. All right. So a little bit of background. First of all, what I love about this story, it's like behind the curtain. And you know how much I love it behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Okay. So, little background. I recently got out of the Marine Corps after spending 5 years serving as an Arabic linguist. First of all, wow.
Yeah.
Rad. I stand a
Amazing.
queen.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm just sitting on the melting into my couch watching Great British Bake Off. Great, fantastic.
I'm working on my British accent.
Yeah.
That's as close as foreign
Yeah.
language as I'm getting.
Just watching Broadchurch.
Yeah, exactly. You're like actually I can understand a Scottish accent now, so I'm pretty much a linguist.
Yes.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
I do
So-
not need the subtitles for David Tennant anymore. So I feel like, yeah, winning.
Accomplished.
At the beginning of my contract, I was sent to Monterey, California to attend the military language school called DLI. Officially, DLI stands for Defense Language Institute. First of all, the fact that there is that
Defense Language Institute. I'm like, there needs to be a show on TNT about that immediately.
Yeah.
listen, all the things that you just said, are you single? We need to chat more about this. But students affectionately call it Desperate Love Institute, as the dating scene is wild and people frequently get married after spending only a few short months together.
Oh, wow.
During the 18 months I spent there, I had 10 people tell me they loved me.
Whoa. What is in the air at this place? No, I'm sorry.
I don't like it.
I'm gonna just like back the fuck out of this.
She said, I only said it back to 2 of them. I love this. I did, however, go on dates with a lot of people. I was young and adventurous, so I figured that if nothing else, I'd end up with some good stories. This was one of the most memorable.
Okay.
I met a soldier named Jack. Name has been changed.
To protect the guilty.
Of course. While I was waiting to catch a bus to the other side of the base, he was tall, muscular, handsome ginger with a great smile, so I was immediately attracted to him. We have a type.
Yeah. You like a ginger too.
We got a type.
Yeah.
He struck up a conversation with me and seemed really sweet, so I gave him my number. When he asked me out to dinner, I eagerly accepted. A few days and lots of texts later, he took me to an adorable romantic restaurant in downtown Monterey. Our conversation was engaging and we'd shared some decent banter, teasing one another about our respective military branches.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So far, so good. We moved on to talking about a book we'd both read when out of nowhere he says, if only the damn Japs weren't ruining our country. Excuse me?
Wait.
I give him a weird look,
What?
but he's already continued talking about the book again
Okay.
as if nothing
I'm
happened.
sorry. That's the weirdest thing. That's the weirdest thing. I love the snort, Christina. Keep it in.
Oh my
The
God.
weirdest thing to me is when someone is racist.
Just drops it.
and they're so racist.
Nonchalantly about it.
And also, I'm just like, where are you from? Like, spiritually, mentally,
Yes,
physically,
everywhere.
that you think that other people are on the same level of like racism. Because I can see
You just dropping it in.
like that it's gonna be fine.
Also, is
Cool.
this 1939?
I
Like
know.
post Pearl Harbor
Oh
or what?
my god.
Girl, honestly, for real. So he's so nonchalant that I actually start wondering if I hallucinated his shitty comment. Suddenly he says, we should just round them all up. We can't trust them. At this point, I ask him what the actual fuck he's talking about, and he launches into a diatribe about how Japanese people are awful. I cut him off and say, what are you? The discontented ghost of an angry World War II
Yes.
pilot?
Oh my
What
God.
We're
The shit.
done here. Like,
Wow.
honestly.
It's honestly, I have to say, like,
What?
that is one of the weirdest.
Takes
That's
ever.
so weird.
It is
like, and
weird.
it's specific.
Very
specific.
specific. It's not just Asian people. It's
No.
one. Yeah,
One
that's,
tiny island of Asian people.
That is
I'm
Well, not
insane.
tiny, but
I'm confused.
I got all the questions in the world. With that, I walked out of the restaurant and met up with some friends instead. He texted me later that night saying he'd had a great time and that we should get together again soon.
This is the most oblivious man of all time.
No. I never responded, but I frequently saw him around the base. Luckily, my resting bitch face was enough to keep him from speaking to me
You know
ever
what?
again.
This is
Brilliant.
a man who has one of those like Archie Bunker grandpas
Oh,
Yeah.
who literally didn't shut up about like World War II.
yep.
The entire time, and it just like seeped into his personality.
Yep.
And then he shares it with people because he thinks everyone had that
Well,
experience.
he loves his pop so much that he has to agree. Pop.
Oh, pop. Oh, pappy. Oh, I don't love it.
Yeah. No, me either.
Oh, this is so funny though.
God, the ghost of a World War II pilot.
But for real,
Yes.
I mean, who says shit like that? Who says shit like that?
I don't know. I'm uncomfortable.
I hate
Okay.
it.
So, are you guys ready?
Yes.
This is very exciting
Yeah.
because we have a frequent
A frequent flyer.
flyer.
I like
Yes.
And now it's your turn.
Yes, it's my turn. I'm so excited.
I know.
So in the past, he has already submitted the date with an Irish girl where he pretended to have an accent.
I would say that he is, if you're in our Facebook group, he's worsty famous.
He's also
Yes.
like your dad.
Yes.
And I
Oh
love
my gosh.
him.
I know.
Yes,
he's your,
because-
he's your
Oh,
father.
he's my actual dad.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's-
yes.
I
'Cause
like-
he was
I'm
dating in
convinced.
78.
I'm convinced.
I'm
I,
not.
I want it to happen.
I'm.
We need to do like a DNA.
Have you ever met my birth mom?
Let's find. Let's find out.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did the date with the Irish girl that Christina read, and then also 2 weeks ago now he did the accidental sex worker one where
love
he
it.
drove over to her house and basically got paid to sleep with this girl.
Good word of mouth.
And he's amazing. He's in our Facebook group, and after Cassie read his story, he got on the Facebook group and actually, because we were speculating about what he looked like and what the lifeguard uniform looked like, and he posted a picture of him.
Fantastic.
He's goddamn Goose from Top Gun.
He's got a
He
mustache.
looks
just like him.
Yeah, he looks just like a young Anthony Edwards.
The top of his hair is a little feathered. It's fantastic. It's so funny.
1978 perfection.
So go and check that out. If you're not in our Facebook group, join it and go look at the picture he posted if you want a visual. So he's been teasing that he has like a worst date.
This is the whale.
worst date. This is our white whale, and the subject line is actually my worst date. 1980 in parentheses, which makes me think that it's like this is a movie, like this is on IMDb.
IMT.
Yes,
Cast it. We'll cast it as we
1980.
go.
All right, here we go.
We've already cast it. It's Anthony Edwards.
Yes.
And he says this story has no clever title. It's just my worst date.
All right.
All right.
I was a lifeguard for 6 summers at Oak Street Beach, but my 7th summer, age 22, 1980, was spent as a squad leader of a security detail at an outdoor music venue about an hour outside of Chicago.
Okay.
One of the guys I supervised told me his sister liked me. She was an usher. I spoke to her. She was very pretty with long, curly blonde hair, blue eyes, and a heart-shaped face.
Oh my God, that's my
Sounds
birthday.
like an angel.
No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be awesome.
She seemed nice, so I asked her if she wanted to go to a White Sox game with me. Baseball seemed like a safe first date to see if we were compatible.
This actually sounds like a perfect first date.
For you, yes,
For just,
definitely.
I think in general.
I don't even like sports, but I would go to a sports
so
game
relaxed.
just to have like some
beer and a
chill-
hot dog.
Yeah, hot dog.
Especially baseball because it is so relaxed. It's
Yeah.
so chill. You're not going to like screaming really. It's,
Right.
you know.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
On the day of the ball game, I drove to her house. She was wearing white gym shoes, faded blue jeans, and a white cotton shirt. The level of detail
Okay.
in these stories is the
love
best. And I love that his mental camera took that forever picture.
Yeah.
And he remembers exactly what it was.
Trauma can do that. So I'm
Imprinted on his brain.
nervous as to what comes next.
And I want to say I trust him so much that I didn't even read this story beforehand because I know it's going to be amazing and I wanted to be surprised along with you
Awesome.
guys. So she was dressed in black high heels, a tight red leather miniskirt, a black top so tight nothing was left to the imagination.
Wait.
I thought she was
Sorry, I'm
jeans.
sorry. He was dressed in white gym shoes, faded blue jeans, and a white cotton shirt.
Okay.
She was dressed in black high heels, a tight red leather miniskirt, and a black top so tight nothing was left to the imagination. To a ball game.
Baseball game.
It's a little overdoing it.
It's a little.
Feels like a lot.
I mean, it's one of my worst fears, and this is just me being inappropriately addressed for.
But this is on
the-
her because she had
she
to know
knows.
you're going to a baseball game. This is on her.
Yeah,
like you
I also don't
wear
want to be with somebody that is inappropriately dressed.
black
for the-
high heels going up and down stadium stairs. Oh no,
in a mini. Yeah,
No.
I don't like it.
Her hair was overdone 80s style.
Yes, girl.
So much hairspray.
So much Aquanet. I smell it.
Honestly.
I see the haze.
You're going to
coming.
pass out being enclosed in a car with her. You're like, oh.
Do not light that cigarette nearby.
Too much makeup and a sparkly gold purse. We were going to a baseball game, not Friday night on Rush Street.
Yep, there you go.
I know she wanted to look pretty for me, but I felt embarrassed, Christina.
Oh my God.
We would be sitting with my lifeguard friends. This is your worst fear, Christina.
I know. I don't like
You
it.
hate
You're
I
with
hate it.
people you know. She's way overdressed. Oh.
I'm
Okay.
crawling out of my skin right now.
I know.
I feel that. Yep.
I feel myself sweating.
Yeah.
I was supposed to bring her brother's paycheck and forgot. She kept criticizing me for forgetting and would not let it go. She complained the entire way to Kaminsky Park.
She just needed something to talk about.
Honestly.
She was desperate to talk to
And
you.
also, hot people, like, they have no gauge. It's like, what was it? One of the stories, maybe like last week, where she was like, ew, about going to college or whatever. Like,
Right.
certain people just like, they think they can get away with things
Yeah.
that they can't get away with.
Yeah.
You ain't that pretty.
When we arrived, she started complaining that I did not have tickets. My friend Bart had the tickets. We just had to wait for him to show up. I think he posted in that picture he posted on Facebook
Yeah,
was with Bart.
Bart was in there.
Yes,
Yeah.
in a Speedo. It's great.
It's awesome. Also, pictures of actual water polo.
Yes. Yes. Not with
Oh my
not
God.
with ponies. I always said with dogs. Not with ponies.
Now I really
Even better. You know what I want? I want cat water polo. Imagine trying to get cats
No.
to do that shit in
We're talking
water.
about splashing. Jesus.
She kept on yelling at me, insulting me, and criticizing me for driving an hour to Chicago with no tickets. Dude, this happens all the time. All the time. Like,
I
I've
know.
definitely bought tickets for friends and waited for them outside of the venue. That's
right.
so normal.
Concerts, movies,
Yeah.
like it's just a billion
This
things.
is a normal thing that you
so
do.
weird.
It was so bad, an elderly couple took pity on me and insisted I take their tickets. She
Wow.
complained so insistently and loudly that another couple was like, you need this more than I do.
Oh.
Also, we just want to go home now.
Please,
Yeah,
you
you've
ruined our
actually
night,
ruined our game.
actually.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Once we sat down, she started drinking beer after beer like it was water. I brought more than enough money for a typical date, but she was drinking through it quickly. I could not have a beer because I was driving, so I was stuck with soda. Your date is drinking through your date money and getting wasted, and you're sober.
Oh my God. Do you know, I actually have like a really intense fear. And anytime that I think about baseball or talk about baseball, this fear comes into my head.
Oh, Jesus.
About falling down the steps.
Oh, sure.
Can I say that I have that?
You should
really,
watch me
really
go down them
intense.
sideways.
Yeah.
I have a fear of falling downstairs, and I live on the second floor, and I go upstairs every day to go to my apartment, and every single time I have this weird irrational phobia of like,
Tripping.
I'm going to fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like it.
Oh, I get chills just think I can see in my head right now my body tumbling down the baseball park stairs.
I have that fear when we're at the LAFC stadium.
Yes.
On more than one occasion, I'm like I look like a crazy person because I'm like gripping the like
Going
the
down sideways.
railing because can you imagine someone's gotten wasted and fallen down those stairs?
Absolutely. This chick. This is how the
maybe
story
how
ends.
the story
Oh,
ends.
no.
Oh
Okay.
my God. Oh my God.
So, all right, he's drinking soda. I excused myself and looked to see if I could find Bart. He was outside the stadium looking for me. Of course he was. 'Cause he had your
And
tickets.
there's no cell phones, so you can't tell your...
Yes, 1980. I waved to him and we met. I brought him up to speed on my terrible date. I did not want to spend another minute with her. I figured I would sit with my friends and come back to her after the 7th inning. He just juiced out. He's like, you know what?
Shit.
It's fine. Just leave her up there.
She's fine.
Bart said that was way too rude and guilted me into getting her. She actually behaved herself in front of my friends, but I had already written her off. Dude, I feel you.
Okay.
Like if
Yeah.
your first impression like is it like that, you're just like there's no recovering.
Yeah.
On the way home, she picked up right where she left off about the forgotten paycheck, only this time she was under the influence, so it was worse. I could not wait to get her out of my car and my life.
Oh my God.
When we came within a couple miles of her house, she became quiet. She cozied up next to me. She started touching me inappropriately and kissing my neck. She told me her parents were away. I did not want to be intimate with this girl for 2 reasons. 1, I did not like her. 2, she was intoxicated and incapable of giving valid consent. Honey, yes.
I stan a queen.
We stan. We stan.
I know. I love it.
I already felt her wrath and it gave me a glimpse as to how vindictive she could be. This was not some attractive stranger at the beach or pub that I could dismiss without consequence. I worked with her. She could make my life miserable for me at work if I insulted her vanity by rejecting her.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're in a tight spot.
Yeah.
Divine intervention came in the form of flashing red and blue lights. I was going 40 and at 25, I was pulled over by Officer Don. He was tall, thin, and in his 40s. He had a friendly way about him that I liked. After he ran my license, he asked me to get out of my car to talk to him by his squad car. Officer Don told me my driver's license was revoked for failure to pay a speeding ticket in downstate Illinois. He was going to have to arrest me. I said, really? That's great. Do me... That's the best way.
Thank Jesus.
Do me a favor and handcuff me here and take me back to my date and just go along with what I say. I must have taken him off guard because he followed my instructions to the letter. He walked me back to my date. She was climbing out of the car, alarmed. What's going on? She asked. I have a warrant for my arrest of New Mexico for attempted murder. You know, my ex-girlfriend, I replied.
Oh my Wow.
God, you must have really wanted to get out of this
Wow.
situation.
Yeah.
You're
He's like, I will chew my fucking arm off to get out of this.
I would rather you think I'm a murderer.
Yes.
Her eyes went wide in horror and she screamed and ran the last few blocks home on drunken legs. I turned around with a big smile on my face. Officer Don said, I guess you really don't ever want to see her again. I said, worst day ever. Officer Don gave me a signature bond and I was out before I was ever really in. My boss was shocked when I showed up for work the next day. My date told everybody I was arrested for attempted murder. I showed my boss my speeding ticket and told him about my awful date. I said she was passed out drunk in my car and woke up in the middle of my traffic citation, screamed, got out of the car, and ran home. She was probably hallucinating from alcohol poisoning, I said.
Oh, shit.
You were right under the bus. I was like, she just made that whole thing up about me.
Crazy. I don't know.
I don't know.
What the fuck is she talking about?
She's telling everyone you had an arrest warrant out of New Mexico, he said. I've never even been to New Mexico. I exclaimed.
I've never even been to Mount Vesuvius.
What? Oh, no. She's nuts. The fact I was at work and not in transport to New Mexico was I don't know how to say that. Prima facie? What's that say? Prima.
I can't see.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And not in transport to New Mexico was evidence that she was a crazy drunk. I was even able to gaslight my date into believing it was a bad alcohol-fueled nightmare.
Oh, no.
But it seems so real. I remember her saying,
Oh, no. Just like some girl on the train shit.
I
That
know,
fucking
it
movie.
is. It absolutely
She's
is.
like, what happened? I don't trust anything.
She wanted a second date to make it up to me, but I lied to her and said I was a recovering alcoholic and it would be unhealthy for me to date a heavy drinker. Oh my God. Can I just pause and say, like, his dating escapades, the amount of smooth lying that happens in these stories. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. The lie made sense to her since she remembered I only drank soda at the game. It was a clean exit. Years later, I joined that same police department and Officer Dawn and I went on many calls together.
Wow.
I know. And I vowed to never date anyone I worked with again.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am now retired from the police department and working in the private sector.
Okay, listen.
Oh my God.
I have a question. John, are you single? I have a coworker who is single. She lives in Chicago. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
Saying.
Love connection.
I see
love
a
it.
possible match here is all.
I love it. I want to have a beer. We need to go and do a Chicago show and he needs to get us beers and bratwurst.
Yeah.
Yes. And I want, actually, you know what I want is I want a Chicago style hot dog with a
Yes.
pickle on it.
Yes.
With that
Yes.
relish.
Yes.
And yeah, I want him to just regale us all night with stories.
Oh,
And
his
he's got
police
more.
stories
Oh.
have to be fucking
Wild.
Let's make a whole new podcast and it's just his police stories.
It's just John stories.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's what this podcast is actually becoming. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
his dating stories.
He's slowly
love it.
infiltrating every
Yeah.
episode.
I
I'm
love it.
not upset.
Me neither.
Well, this one we got, and I think that you've talked to her before, the singlesociety.com.
Yeah.
She is amazing.
Oh,
I found this
incredible.
story of hers on Reddit, and so I reached out to her, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I have this website," and I was like, "Oh my God, we've shared a story from you before." So please, her stories are hilarious. You can go to thesinglesociety.com. I'm going to share one of hers that she gave to me. It's called. I titled this. Well, no, I won't share the title because I won't want to give it away.
Mystery.
Okay. After finally coping with the demise of my previous relationship, I decided to jump back into the dating game and download Bumble. Unbeknownst to me, this would be the absolute weirdest first date I would ever experience. I matched with Preston, a 37-year-old California native and MIT graduate who recently relocated to New York. Right away, he requested I give him my number so we could communicate via text. And though I thought it was slightly premature, I ultimately relinquished my digits. I don't like that. I do not give out
I don't like
a
feeling
phone number
pressured
right away.
to give my phone number. Like, also, if you feel pressure, like if it's something you want to do.
Yeah.
Although I do have to say, when we were at our favorite bar last weekend, there was a woman there who had a dog that was super cute. It had one eye. His name was Captain Jack Sparrow, and he would howl while people were singing, and
Which
it was
was
adorable.
hilarious.
But
Oh my God.
she took my phone. She was like, "What's your number?" She's like, you know, an older lady. She's very LA.
Yeah.
You know, like she's a massage therapist. And I've had a few drinks and I'm like, okay. And she took my number, like took my phone to put her number in it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's fine. But then she called herself.
Oh, no. And you're like,
So I'm like, oh no. So now she has my phone number and I'm like, oh no.
she will not remember.
That
You will
wasn't
never
my
hear from her.
intention. I'm so freaked out.
Hopes and prayers.
Exactly. After chatting for a few days, I found Preston quite sarcastic for my liking, so I was unsure whether or not I was inclined to meet him in person. Every few days, he'd text me, "Hey, Samantha, how's it going?" Alas, his persistence paid off, and I agreed to meet him at a French bar and bistro in the West Village. Preston arrived 15 minutes late, I might add, outside our meeting point, dressed in several layers, a scarf, and a beanie. Instead of entering the restaurant to have a drink, Preston had another idea. "Let's take a walk," he suggested. "Do you mind if we stop back at my apartment so I can drop off my scarf? It's pretty warm out."
Fuck that.
I do mind, actually.
I
Yeah,
hate
I do.
this
I
ploy.
hate
I hate this.
No, I'm not going back to your place. We just met.
Well, you know
So
what it is?
weird.
It's like, okay, I'm going to wait out here on the sidewalk. You can run in and put your scarf away. I'm not coming up.
No.
Yeah. Apprehensive to go with him to his apartment, I proposed he just carry it. As we walked several blocks to who knows where, Preston was texting on his phone for the entire time. "So, what are people supposed to do on dates?" he asked. Puzzled, I
Not
offered
this.
up the usual examples such as dinner, drinks, coffee, etc. Remembering that he'd recently moved to New York City, I inquired as to whether or not he had been on many dates. "Oh, I've been on like 100 dates so far." he said.
Okay.
Then why don't you know what to do on a date by now?
Preston then revealed that he had been building a dating bot that does all the texting and even schedules his dates for him.
Oh.
Remember, he went to MIT. He then proceeded to demonstrate how his bot worked while showing me a long list of other women's names he
So
had
that's why
dates
he was
with.
texting the whole time as he was on his I don't. What? Like, how insulted would you feel?
Yeah, Cyrano de what's that?
Bergerac?
Bergerac.
Yeah.
Her. He then proceeded to demonstrate how his bot worked and how it would even put dates in his calendar to remind him when, where he needed to be on that particular day or night. There have been some glitches, though. It actually scheduled 4 dates for me at the same time today. That's why I was late, he said. At this point,
Why would you admit this? Like, you lack so much self-awareness. The whole point of doing something like this is so that you can then swoop in and act like it's you. Like, to then come in and give up the ghost that quickly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why? The amount. Okay. Whatever.
It makes me think. I'm like, he must not have. I don't know if he was like into her then. You know what I
Right.
mean? If
I
then,
guess
then he
so.
was
His
just
bot
like,
is into her.
yeah.
His bot was like, "This is a good match."
Ugh.
At this point, I'd had my fill of Preston and decided to put an end to my misery, but not before he revealed that though he has not been on many second dates, he has hooked up with tons of girls.
Oh,
well,
fuck
good for
you.
you.
Did he do the old like scarf trick? Is that how he managed to hook up with girls?
Gross.
I was like, okay, we are clearly not getting drinks and clearly not looking for the same thing, so I think I'm going to head home. "Oh, you thought we were going to get drinks? Did I say that? That must have been the bot. I actually don't feel like drinking because I've been drinking pretty much every night."
Oh,
This guy is my
The literal
God. I
worst.
hate you.
I've
never hated anyone more.
I cannot even imagine like what I would say to somebody in this situation.
The
No,
level
yeah,
of
in fact-
social unawareness.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, you don't say anything. You just walk away.
Yeah.
Like at that point, you just walk away.
Preston attempted to walk me back to my train despite me desperately trying to cut him loose. He was grasping at straws, trying to sound interested in me by asking me where I'm from and where I live. These were all questions I had previously answered ... to
the
a
bot.
robot.
That's right. That's right.
Later that week, I received a text from Preston's number. "Hey, Samantha, want to go for brunch this weekend?"
No.
Oh, that's the robot.
way.
100.
I texted back to tell him to lose my contact info as there was no way I'd want to see this asshole ever again. To which he replied, "Sorry, was the bot. We'll add you to the blacklist."
Oh my
okay.
God. He has a blacklist.
Okay.
Of course he does.
You just type back unsubscribe, or stop.
Unsubscribe.
Yes.
All caps. Stop.
All caps. Stop.
It's the same thing that the weed store that you went to once
Yep.
sends you.
Exactly. I'm like,
Stop.
stop.
No more.
I only signed up for that one time 10% discount. Okay.
Exactly.
Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
Okay. So, are you guys ready
Yes.
for my crazy in love?
Yes.
Okay. preface this story because honestly, my week was crazy. I have been in Virginia for an entire week, nonstop, and it's just been a crazy week on the road. It's very lonely to travel by yourself, and so it's just like one of those things where I was like, I cannot go down a rabbit hole of sadness, and plus I'm watching Broadchurch, which we'll talk about at the end. But anyway, so I was like, I really kind of want to do a crazy in love story that has a happy ending. So, and it also reminded me, you can thank Anthony for this, because Anthony was like, why don't you do more stories that have happy endings?
Anthony is such a happy-go-lucky ray of sunshine that, like, I do feel that he would be like,
what crazy in love?
I know.
Like, you know what I mean?
We did the one
How
story,
hard
and
is
I
that
thought
to
was
find
sweet.
examples?
it wasn't a happy ending, but I think he meant more heartwarming stories, like the one with Becky Golden,
That's the
where
one.
like her husband, where she was sick and he was like, I'll do this thing for you, where it was that kind of like heartwarming, unconditional love. I think that's what he means, where it's like, it feels like love conquers all feeling. He's like a hopeless romantic in that way. And it is hard to find. It's hard to find.
Crazy in love.
Yes.
Well, this fits both bills.
Okay.
Okay. Anthony, this one's for you.
Aw.
Secondly, I was in Virginia, so this only felt right to do the Loving versus the state of Virginia case.
Yay.
Aw, yeah.
And I feel like that does fit. It's
It
like
does.
that thing of just like, I love this person so much that I'm willing
To go to the Supreme fucking court to make my love legal.
Yeah.
And I am here for it. And so, and I did the story because too, I thought it's not like a super long story. It's a pretty cut and dry case. There's not a lot of ins and outs. I want to go through the story, but I feel like there's a lot of input because you guys know the story.
Yeah.
And have we all seen the movie?
There was
Yes.
a movie,
Yes.
and so for history's sake, 2016, I believe, is when
Something
the movie,
like that.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Very recent.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. The movie came out, which was incredible. But I did just watch the documentary for this, and then I also got a lot of information on biography, as well as, of course, some filler stuff on Wikipedia. So so this is the Loving story. The story starts with Mildred Jeter, who met Richard Loving while she was in high school.
Which, how pretty is Mildred, by the
Oh,
way?
my God.
Any picture you see of her, you're like,
She's
oh,
so pretty.
she's so pretty.
She's a little string bean. In fact, her nickname was String Bean, and they called her, shortened it. He had shortened it to Bean. That he used to call her Bean. Is that the cutest thing?
I love people's like couples nicknames.
Like, yes, pet names for
takes,
each other.
It takes a while to get them, but Bean, that's fucking cute.
I call
That's
it
cute.
My stepdaughter. I call her Bean.
Yeah.
I've always called her Bean.
I love that.
love it.
Yeah.
I love that. It's super cute. Also, his name's Dick Loving.
Right.
We're gonna
Dick.
Let's
We're
just
gonna-
address
we're
that.
Just gonna we're
let's
gonna go right over
go
that.
ahead and
Why would his parents do that to him?
I know.
Sometimes I look at names and I'm like, why?
Damn it.
Why were you? Gonna
Why
do
did
that?
I not even?
How
I
did
didn't
you-
even pay
You
attention.
didn't get. I got that before you did.
Yeah.
I've
You're
never
the 12-year-old
gotten
boy
that.
in this.
And I am the 12-year-old boy.
I've
right.
literally I've read about this case. I saw the movie.
Yep.
We did it for my other podcast.
Oh, you
and
did?
I'm like, yeah, no,
I feel like
no.
I should know that.
No, it's fine. We've had like a million episodes at this point. But like Madigan covered it and I still never got Dick
No.
Loving.
Nope.
Wow.
But those are the things you
Yeah.
need to think about as a parent.
Yes.
Who looks at a sweet baby's
Dick Loving.
face and think like they're gonna call you Dick Loving.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
God damn. All right.
All right.
It's rough.
Turns out
rough.
that Richard actually loves Mildred. And
Yes.
Good transition. That was a good segue.
Yeah. Oh, so a moonwalk out of that. She had gone to a an all black school, but the town was mostly intermixed in their rural country town. In fact, in the documentary, Richard really talks about like, he's like, yeah, like we understood that like this racism thing was happening and segregation was happening, but because our town was so small, there was like no really, I mean, in his way of saying it, he's like, there really was no way to segregate. Like you have like 50 people who lived here. And
seemed
if
like
you
it was
needed something, you'd call on the town. And part of that town was, gonna
A
be
different race.
Yeah. It's just
It
how it
seems like
happened.
it was a weird like kind of like oasis.
Yeah.
Like a integrated oasis
Very
in the middle
integrated.
of an otherwise pretty racist place.
That happens
Very racist
throughout
county, in
history.
fact.
Like, I was reading a book about, God, where was it? It was something, I want to say maybe Turkey or Armenia or something before World War I. There was a small town where like Christians live side by side with Muslim people, live side by side with Jewish people. And even though they all had different faiths, it was a small enough town and people needed to like, I got the barter and stuff.
It's insular enough that they didn't need to go outside of it too much. So it's easy to forget that the rest of the world sucks.
Yeah. And they
like,
got along just fine until.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew you could actually do that? Oh, so you're saying that you can.
it is possible or what?
So wait, what you're trying
Time out.
So what your story presupposes is that people from other religions and races can get along.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like a
absolutely.
fairy tale.
It sounds
actually.
like everybody's still like trying to live their life and raise their
Sounds
kids.
like
and
a
do
bunch
their
of hocus
things.
pocus to me.
That sounds like a sci-fi book, Christina.
I know.
Hey, Keegan, can you step into the bathroom real quick? And shut the door, So, but upon first meeting, Mildred actually describes Richard as arrogant. And she originally was like, nah, not about this white boy. It's so funny. But they quietly grew a relationship and ended up falling in love. At the age of 18, Mildred became pregnant. So they took a trip to DC and did the right thing and got married in June of 1958. Upon their return to Virginia, married only just a few weeks, the couple were woken up at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night and arrested in their home on July 11th, 1958 by the sheriff and 2 deputies.
Right. And I remember from Madigan telling this story that they did that on purpose because they could add if they caught them
In bed
having
together.
sex, like actually in the act of having sex, they could add an extra charge. So they waited until night. But I'm like, 2 a.m. Were you held up? Because I'm asleep. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like literally
Do
I'm
not.
asleep. Yeah. Maybe if you showed up to around like 10, 11.
I mean, bitch is pregnant. She ain't up
She's like,
partying.
sleepy, actually. But how nefarious is that, though? Is like they did it at that time because they were like, if
They
we
tried
can
to catch
catch
them in the
them,
act.
we can charge them with more shit.
Ugh,
Yeah.
So gross.
Well, and at the time, so basically the law that they're breaking at the time is the Virginia law that forbade the union between them. Is called the Racial Integrity Act. I literally just put air quotes around Integrity Act. Like, it's just the most
But
disgusting
it's
thing
still
to say
the
out
same
loud.
shit that like racists are talking about now. It's the same thing, which is just like our white people are gonna die out, and we're not
Making
gonna
a
be able.
mongrel race.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here with your mongrel race.
I know,
bullshit.
it's
like,
awful.
I cannot. So it's the Racial Integrity Act of 1924. So we're talking about a law that was like over 34 years old at the time. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Can you imagine? Like, it's just, but they were doing it to make a statement.
Yeah, someone
That's
dug
exactly-
deep in the law books, and they were like, "What can we get them on?"
Well, and at the time, racial interracial marriage was absolutely illegal, and so it was I think fairly well known amongst the. But what Richard, I kind of remember him in the documentary saying like they had known other couples that were interracial couples, and it wasn't like necessarily a huge deal. I think because they got married, but somebody literally turned them in. I mean, like somebody had to be like,
Ew.
hey.
Now
Guess
they,
what?
they made it official or whatever.
Yeah. Like it's just crazy. Richard had spent the night in jail before being bonded out. They had reached out to Richard's sister to get them bonded out, and at the time, the bond company was like, "We will give you the bond money to get Richard out, but if you use any bond money to get out Mildred, we'll revoke our bond." So Mildred, pregnant, fucking had to spend like. I think several more nights basically in the jail while she's fucking pregnant. I mean, like, are you kidding? And she was describing it. The funny thing about the documentary is this. I really want to dive into this because they're super fucking cute together, but the documentary is like them literally going in during the time, like, and filming them. And you could tell like that they were like, hey, just, you know what? Live your normal life.
Do everyday shit. Act
Just-
normal.
Just act normal. And it's literally the most unacting normal ever.
Of course, because anyone who is not like
not
us,
actors.
who are like hams, who are like, I can turn it on. You know, if you're just like a normal person who's just trying to live a normal life. I see that again with Great British Bake Off when they do the spotlights where they're like, when she's not baking, she's sitting at home reading books. And it's like the most uncomfortable, like flipping through pages. Right? Like, this is how I look when I read. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It's like just normal family life. He's like, I'm going to put a log in the stove and
Yeah,
I'm
yes.
going to put your shoes on and buckle them for 20
honey.
minutes.
Oh my God.
And the kids are like just staring deadpan into the camera like It's so funny though. Like, but you do like here's the big picture of this. This is not, they didn't go into this looking for fame. They never went into this. You can truly, truly see that these are two people who absolutely in love with each other, and all their end goal is to be together.
They're so awkward because it's authentic. Like they're awkward because they're just like, hey, I'm just trying to like do my shit,
live
like,
life.
I don't want
That's
you
what they
in my
wanna do.
shit. Yeah, like yeah. But can you imagine?
And
like,
their country, they're not like city folk, and they just want to live, like you said, just want to live their lives.
and
Can you imagine like living your life being that bothered by something that fucking stupid?
I still feel that way. I still feel that way with things whenever people are so invested. I'm like
transgender now is the big one.
Again, transgender, and also still there are people with like gay relationships where I'm just like, I literally
There are people still bothered by interracial.
Oh yes,
relationships.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. But I
still.
mean, we've had that we just had this conversation about how fucking lazy I am.
Oh.
And I'm like, I literally do not have the mental energy to give a shit about what you are doing in your life.
I don't even have the energy to write a bad Yelp review.
Oh, me
Do you know
neither.
what I mean?
Even if
And,
it's
like,
awful.
Live your fucking
Girl.
life. Who has time to be bothered
Do you
by
know how-
other people's fucking business?
Do you know how many
Don't.
times I have started writing a like Facebook post and then given up halfway through?
I can't even
like,
be bothered.
I just
Yeah.
can't.
Fuck it. Yeah.
Like 90%
I mean, it's
of
a
the time.
terrible like thing. I think to be like, I mean, you shouldn't be racist for like a number of reasons.
Yeah.
Totally, but like also just like
Why?
use that. Why? That energy can be
The
so
energy,
much
I think
better spent.
That is the thing that like makes me the most on a practical level.
Yeah.
Like, yes, racism is bad for all the reasons, but like on a practical level, I'm like, even if you have those feelings, it's the kind of thing that like, all right, go talk to your racist cousin about it at your racist
but like,
bar.
I'm like, so wait, did you have to look up the phone number for the police and
you
say
had
this
to get in your
bothers me?
car. You had to get in your car and drive to a police station,
Yeah.
and wait to talk to somebody. That's how much it bothered you.
Believable.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Anyway.
so they finally are bonded out. After again, Mildred had spent several nights in jail.
And how must that have felt for like Richard to have to
I know.
leave her there?
Exactly.
It's
His
like your
pregnant wife is
wife-
stuck in
yes.
fucking jail. And she had said too in the documentary, she was like even at one point they were like, oh, the men's side is getting like, the men's side was like bunks and tons of bunks, and the female side was like literally like just one little
Like, we might have to put
one
some men
spot.
in here with you.
And
Yeah.
and they joked like with one of the prisoners coming through, like, oh, I guess we're gonna have to put this one in you because we're getting pretty full over here. And
in with you.
yeah.
We're gonna have to put this one in you, is what you just said, which is
Oh, I said
Slip of the
I
tongue.
thought, I don't like that. I don't like that slip of tongue. Yeah. Yes, and with you, and I'm like, that's disgusting. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
fucking horrible. What a fucking horrible human. Anyway, so after pleading guilty, they finally do go to court. After pleading guilty, their sentences were suspended, but they would have to. So basically, were going to be convicted to a year in prison.
Oh my God. Year
Pregnant.
is so long.
and pregnant. Like you're gonna have your baby in jail, and like
And then what? When you get out, you still can't be. You're still breaking the law if you're married. So it's not like you just spend a year in jail and move on. You just fucking spend a year in jail and then probably get rearrested every time they decide to do that. So the courts actually said after pleading guilty, they would suspend the sentence, but they had to leave the state and they could not return for 25 years.
which imagine spending your entire life somewhere. Like their whole lives are in this small town that was so insular, in fact, that they weren't
Both sets of parents,
fully
all of their
aware-
family, all of their friends,
yeah,
everything.
of things. Like they were so insulated in this town that they weren't fully aware of things going on outside of it. So
At all.
then to have to pick up and go somewhere else is like your whole life. Like
Yeah. And again, they're like country. You know what I'm saying? Like they live in the country. They're and rural area. So for them to go to a place like Washington D.C., which is where they moved to, it's like an incredible shell shock of situation where you're just completely. I mean, you're going from one extreme really to another, and so They do though. They're like, fine, we'll move to Washington D.C. It's close enough to make trips home if we need to or whatever, individually as we need to visit our family, but it will keep us out of Virginia.
Yeah.
And interracial marriage was legal in D.C., so that was completely fine. But 3 children later and completely unhappy in D.C., the couple had made many secret trips back to the home or back home to visit family. And on one such trip, they were caught and arrested again. They were coming home for Easter and they were caught coming into the town and arrested again because of this. So they were forced out of the state once more. And by 1963, completely fed up by city life, one of their young sons had actually gotten hit by a car. Not fatally, but it was one of those things that just triggered like I'm fucking done with it.
I don't want to be around all these people, all these cars, all this noise. This isn't the life I want for myself or my children.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to move back to the country. I want to move back to where my family is. I want to be part of my family unit once more. I want to be part of my community again.
Yeah.
And finally, they were just like, we're fucking done. And Mildred, inspired by a conversation with her family member and the burgeoning civil rights movement, because now they're in DC, they do see what's going on. They're starting to see this ramp up, Martin Luther King, all these things that are happening within, the governments. And she's, her sister, I think it was her sister that she was talking to. And she was like, you should reach out to the Attorney General, Robert Kennedy. So she does. She writes a letter to Robert Kennedy saying basically that, they had been arrested. All they want to do is live together in their home state, married. And he refers them to Kennedy does respond to them, and he suggests that they should contact the ACLU. Mildred did reach out to the ACLU, which she wrote them a letter as well, stating their case, what was happening. And the Loving case was handed over to Bernard Cohen and Philip Hirschkopf. These are 2 young attorneys, and it's so awesome to see them interviewed. Like, it's funny because in the documentary they show like original footage with them like super fucking young, like these young ACLU attorneys, just building their career. And then they show like this footage that is probably maybe from like maybe the 80s or something. Mm-hmm. Like, so they're a little older and them talking about the case, and they're just like, this was a landmark case. Mm-hmm. Like, this is something that could literally put us on the maps. And
probably other people didn't want to take it on. So it was a thing that like, if you're young and you've got the spirit and the energy and like you believe it's right, you're like, we're gonna do this thing. Yeah,
absolutely. And so what they did is they appealed the actual Loving case, the case itself, in which they were, yes, their sentences were set aside, but they had to move out, all that stuff. But they were like, we're going to appeal this case. They appealed it all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court, where they argued that that Virginia was not for lovers.
Oh, but clever. You know that they were like late night poring over paperwork, and one of them was like, you know what? Actually,
I think this will hit home.
Yeah. I got a good pun.
I'm not gonna lie, that was I put that in.
Oh, did you put that in?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Amazing, Cassie. Good job. No, I love it.
My dad joke for the day.
I
Anthony, I told you the story was for you.
I literally thought that like the lawyers were being interviewed, and they were like, Virginia's not for lovers, you guys.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But Virginia was in violation of the 14th Amendment, which states that the 14th Amendment was to basically say that all African Americans, they said Negroes at the time, which I fucking hate.
It's okay.
And they said it a lot, which was really difficult to listen to. But they said that that 14th Amendment gives rights to everyone. So whatever a white person could do, so could anybody else, right? So that's the idea behind it. And they're saying that this directly violates that, which it fucking does, right? Virginia itself said the state argued that state rights should take precedence over federal law.
States' rights.
States' rights. Don't tread on me. Sorry.
It's racist bingo.
Don't tread on me, the number of fucking license plates I saw this week with that on it. No big deal.
Wow.
The Supreme Court did not agree. And on June 12th, 1967, they unanimously voted unanimously voted to overturn the Loving conviction and dismantled the anti-miscegenation laws forbidding interracial marriage, and that included 19 states. Some of the things that I love about this story was when Bernard Cohen and Herbsheck went to the Supreme Court. They asked Richard, because Richard and Mildred were invited to come to see the proceedings, and they were like, no, that's cool. We'd rather not. We'd rather not. And that's kind of them. They weren't in it for the limelight. All they literally wanted to do was live together as a married couple. But when asked, Richard had said, tell the court, I love my wife. That was literally his quote. Just tell the court I love my wife. And I think that says everything you need to say. But at the end of the documentary, and this is pretty much verbatim, I kind of just took it right off the screen because I thought it was so important to talk about. 16 states were overturned. So there were 16 states at the time that still had bans on interracial marriage. Despite the ruling, many states resisted, and Alabama was the last holdout, repealing its anti-miscegenation law in 2000.
Wow.
2000.
Yeah, I find it difficult to remember sometimes. I do feel great about the town that we live in.
Yeah.
For the most part, is a nice little bubble.
Los Angeles, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, even Columbus, for that matter, in some respects.
In some respects, but it's like, because we have friends that are an interracial couple that receive a lot of flack, even in Columbus.
We do?
Yes, I'll bleep them out.
They get flack?
They've gotten shit.
Well, I told you my first boyfriend in Willard, or we should block that out too. But my first boyfriend in Missouri, like his dad didn't like me for that reason. Yeah.
Well, now that we're talking about it, flashback central here. I dated a guy who was black, and I had friends who were like, who actually gave me shit for dating a black guy.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild. Like, I totally forgot about it.
And it's so weird. And that shows you how
they
insidious.
were friends with him.
Well, that's exactly it. It shows you how insidious it is. It shows you like, it's the people who are like, I'm not racist. I have black friends, but still hold those kinds of views.
That are just like, just don't date them. Yeah.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And actually,
Fucking
like,
crazy,
I've
right?
known lots of people like that who I have good relationships with. For instance, I have a friend who, she told me once when we were growing up, very close friend of mine, and I had a great time being at her house all the time with her parents. They were lovely. They were lovely to me. I still really like her parents. But she did tell me, she was like, if I ever brought a black guy home, it would be a problem with my dad. So I'm just like, it's this, these deep ingrained like beliefs and notions. Mm-hmm. It's not on the surface. That's when people think of racism, they think of like hoods and burning crosses and like they think of this overt kind of like racism when actually the most dangerous kind is these insidious, deeply held beliefs that are passed from like generation to generation. Just like your story earlier today that you read, you know what I mean? I'm sure that was a thing that was like,
sure.
Yeah. God. His grandpa probably said something that then, kind of was passed down, and now he hates all Japanese people. And like, it's wild. Yeah.
Pass down your recipes, pass down that kind of thing.
Your heirlooms.
You can keep your racism to yourself.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Listen. Seriously. We have computers in our pockets now. Who has time? This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we're so interconnected. The people who...
We're sending people to fucking Mars. Like,
yes. The number of people who get up in arms about this shit still. Like, and that's why it feels so shocking. I think partially because we are in a bubble, but like, whenever you see these like rallies where these like Nazis turn up in mass, you're like, where... How?
I really physically cannot wrap my head around it.
No.
I just cannot. The idea that you are that stupid that you think like immigration is the
God.
biggest problem in this country.
Oh,
that
my
you,
God.
I mean, not to get on my soapbox, but
No.
it's like
No, but it's true. It's true. It's just like there are so many things to be genuinely upset
There's
about.
a lot to be
Exactly.
upset about.
That it's just like when you get
there are like
so
4 people that are richer than the entire rest of the world combined.
Yeah, can we all
be
like,
upset about that?
can we
not
all
the
come
fucking other poor
together?
person.
Yeah,
you know.
let's all come together and fight
the
fight the real enemy. Okay, that's it.
So that was the case of
I know
Loving
we're like we're
versus
getting all
Virginia.
head up. I'm getting
I
all
love it
fiery.
that we took this lovely, wholesome thing that you just did
I
that was
know.
supposed to leave us feeling like lovely and,
And I'm like,
wonderful and warm.
Take down the
And
fucking
meanwhile, both Christina and I look like Richard Nixon over here, like arms up.
like
We look like Bernie Sanders actually when he raises his arms up and he's shaking them.
Yes.
That's what we look like. But
In an ill-fitting suit.
I love that story, you know, and
Yeah.
the movie, they're both such great actors.
Oh, so good.
I've heard criticisms of the movie because they think it's so slow, but the reason why it's slow is because these people in so many ways they are unremarkable. Like they
Right.
were
They
just,
really are.
normal
Just people.
wanting to
Yeah.
live a normal life.
Exactly.
You know?
And literally, you just watch the documentary and you're like, I could turn this off because it is slow. The documentary is not remarkable. They're not like
they're
you said-
both soft spoken. They're like
Yeah.
quiet. They're literally like, I wish you weren't in my house with
Yeah.
the camera. Like, you know that.
They're the sweetest. Yeah,
Um,
honestly, they're so cute. The saddest part of this whole story for me, though, is that 8 years post this suit, when they finally were able to move home, they were actually hit by a drunk driver, and Richard was killed in the accident. So it's very. There is.
I
the
know.
sad-
I remember
it's so
after
sad
I remember watching
after
the
all
movie
that.
and I was like, after all of that work, they only got really 8 years
years
of just like peace.
right.
Yeah. It just it's so sad.
I
Yeah.
know. But
Better
but
than none,
good one.
and
What they
good for
did-
them for fighting for other people.
Amen.
their
Amen.
8 years together is a lifetime for many, 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 many couples.
Yes, that's right. My parents,
That's right.
you know,
That's
like
right.
they opened the door for
Yeah.
for me to exist in a fairly peaceful
And they did, because
society, you know?
Missouri was one of those 16 states. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
amazing,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, what are we watching this week?
Well-
You and I are on the Broadchurch.
I fucking love Broadchurch.
Fuck
I could
that.
rewatch that series. It's so good. When
Dude.
you texted and you were like, "I'm watching it," I was like, "Yes, Cassie."
Oh.
It is. It cannot be overstated how good that show is.
It's so good. I love Olivia Colman
Okay.
so much.
Thank
I
you.
want her to be in our friend group immediately,
Immediately.
if not sooner.
Exactly.
She's so good.
Listen, David Tennant, not having a problem with his accent, but there was one part in a very specific episode that I literally had to rewind 3 times because he said it
What was
so
the
fast.
situation? Can you?
I don't know if you're there yet, so I don't want
I'm
to.
at like I forget which episode.
feel like it's-
they just did the verdict.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
This is episode. So season 2,
Mm-hmm.
episode okay, it was after the verdict. They're in his.
Oh, then I might not be there yet.
Okay.
Because I literally stayed up just to watch
See
the verdict.
I think it might be after this. I think it's like episode 7 or 8.
Dude, it's addictive. If you start
Oh.
watching it, you have to.
Yeah.
It's got every fucking British actor ever.
Perfect.
It
Charlotte
does. Mhm.
Rumpling? What's her name?
Yes, Rampling. I
Rampling.
think. Yes, Mhm.
She's amazing.
amazing.
What's her name? It starts with an M. Marianne.
Yes, Marianne Jean Baptiste.
Yes.
Oh,
Blonde?
fantastic. No, she's the black woman.
Oh,
The other
Yes.
lawyer.
Yes.
Oh, she's
Holy
amazing.
shit.
And
Oh.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I'm
I
like,
know.
every fucking British actor ever is in this show.
It's
And
perfection.
It is so
And
good.
the way it's crafted, every season, literally like the first season, I was just like, I don't know who did it. I have to keep watching. Like
Yeah.
they keep you on the edge of your seat until like the last
So-
second.
I
funny
got it.
story.
I got it. I
on
got
the
it.
first episode, I knew it
No.
was that dude.
No, I did it
fucking
in
knew
the
it.
first.
I did not know why. Here's what I'll say. If you've not seen it, spoiler alerts coming. Fast forward for like
Yes,
probably
we'll give you like
60
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
And going. I knew it was the fucking and here's why.
I did once
thought,
the psychic said close to home. I was like,
oh, God.
love it.
Perfection.
Okay, so we literally just gave you so many spoilers on Broadchurch.
Yeah, I mean,
but still watch it.
I
It's
think
so good.
still maybe bleep out.
Yeah, I'm gonna bleep. You just listened to like 1,000 bleeps, so thanks for still listening.
Yeah. just because like
You have to watch it because it's so.
You have to
good.
watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not watching anything new. I had the weirdest week. I got sick. I was like really sick for like 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had auditions and job things, and my brother came into town, and so I've been trying to like, you know, when people come into town, you want to keep them entertained and things. And so I haven't really watched anything new. I watched Jojo Rabbit again with him. It's
Love
so
that movie.
good. And then I've just literally been rewatching episodes of Great British Bake Off. Like that's like all I've been doing is just because he loves to cook and bake, and so he likes watching cooking shows, and so that's kind of what I've been doing, just rewatching shit. Yeah.
Nice. Well, hey, if you got stuff that we should watch, or you want stories, or you just want to reach out, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. Still looking for like those really awkward meet the parent stories.
Oh, yeah.
We
Always
love
will take
those.
those.
It's been a while and they're so funny. But
Got some
basically,
Valentine's Day stories.
We've had
love those.
I love awkward, terrible Valentine's Day stories.
It's the best.
So yeah, send those our way. And thank you guys so much for listening. We love you.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.